A girl from high school who got pregnant at 17, had 3 kids with 3 different guys by 22, cheated with her first baby daddy's cousin, who she's now marrying. It's a total SHT show. Okay, so this girl I know from high school is getting married. We're both 22, for reference. In our senior year of high school she got pregnant, with baby daddy A, who will be referred to as Adam. Her super conservative parents kicked her out and she ended up moving in with a friend's family. She barely graduated high school. The only reason she did were because of the generosity and support of our teachers and students who volunteered to help her, which is how we met. We were in the same law class in the morning and she had the worst morning sickness that really affected her ability to be in class. So, I took extra notes for her, tutored her, and brought her stuff if she hadn't come back by the bell. I wasn't the only one who did stuff like this for her and I know she really appreciates all the assistance we gave her. She had the baby a month after we graduated. She'd signed up for a 911 dispatcher course for after high school because where we live it's a good steady job, with opportunity for certificates and promotions. But she didn't realize how intensive the course would be and had to drop out. She started working at a grocery store bakery, just until she had a better plan. Adam started an apprenticeship while working part-time at a hockey rink, and proposed to her literally the day of her 18th birthday, and brought up marriage because it's the right thing to do. I don't really agree with that, but this isn't about me, and she was always refusing. She started cheating on him after a while, we're all 19 now, and eventually leaves him for another guy because she's pregnant again and it is far more likely that this guy, baby daddy B, who will be referred to as Brad, is the father of the child. Neither of them can afford lawyers, so getting any kind of custody agreement is a mess, and then their parents got involved and they did 50-50 split, still not made official. She has the baby, that does turn out to be Brad's, and everything is okay for about 9 months, when she finds out Brad has been cheating on her with his TA. Brad decides to pay child support but doesn't really want contact with the kid, only around holidays and 1 weekend a month for his parents' sake. She moves back in with her parents, we're all 20 now, who only accept her back because there's grandchildren around. On the plus side, when she's 21, she gets to take that year-long dispatcher course, and passes with flying colors. After working as a dispatcher for a year, we're all 22 now, she meets a police officer we'll call Chad, who's 26 and married. And Adam's second cousin, I can't remember how they're related, just that Adam and Chad are related somewhat distantly. She has an affair with him. Infidelity is super common among cops apparently. She gets knocked up, his wife divorces him, Chad proposes because it's the right thing to do, she accepts, and her parents kick her out again for being a, insert expletive here, she moves in with Chad with her 2 kids. They've started planning the wedding, which, given the background, is something akin to a dumpster fire. Adam is livid. He was desperately in love with this girl and hasn't really recovered from what she did to him, and while she rejected his proposals years ago, she's accepted one from his cousin WHO, props for the same reason he did. Adam has basically made a call for loyalty in the family, dividing everyone one who should go, who should give money, etc. Plus they're having trouble planning anything because of COVID. Her parents have outright said that they're not going, along with half of her family, and her younger sister has been going around and sabotaging what plans they can make. She has asked me to be a bridesmaid. I said that I couldn't because I live in a different province now, but the truth is, I do not want to be wrapped up in that clusterfuck in any way. I'm just watching the arguments and events unfold on social media because this is quite honestly the most entertaining thing I've seen all year. It's weird to me that she even asked because we're not friends, we never have been. We were friendly strangers in high school, I just helped her out for one class because she needed help and I could give it to her. I was just being nice. But based on how she turned out, I'm just sad for her. 3 kids in 4 years, and she's alienated so much of her friends and family because of her actions, and I'm torn between feeling sorry for her and putting my head in my hands. Edit 1. First off, all of your comments are hilarious. Second, I'm going to answer some of the common questions. We're from a city with over 400,000 people, she just comes from the neighborhood that is made of either Bible thumpers or white trash, with no in between. But the high school we went to was in a completely different neighborhood than that. Our school had a pretty good sex ed course, and they gave out free condoms and had resources to help girls get birth control, and they had programs in place for if students ever got pregnant / were going to be teen parents. They also had one of those classes with the dolls for girls who were high risk at teen pregnancy, but she wasn't high risk so she wasn't in that class. I don't know if BC just didn't work for her, or if she never tried it. She started alienating her friends after the affair with Chad came out, because people weren't exactly jumping for joy that she'd broken up a marriage. Chad and his ex didn't have any kids, thankfully, so there were less obstacles. When people weren't immediately ecstatic for her, she started getting very snippy, rude, and was calling the bitches out on social media for not supporting her new relationship or pregnancy. TBH, I'm really worried about her health because having this many babies so close together is just not good for her health, mental or physical. People are also worried that Chad will cheat on her if he'll cheat with you. He'll cheat on you and think she should avoid marrying him so that she can just leave him if it happens. I'll give you updates as they come out, but so far it's just a lot of yelling on social media. mostly from her, some relatives slut-shaming her, and people who are just really worried about her because, as funny as this is, this doesn't seem like healthy behavior. Edit 2. First off, I realized I never gave this girl a name. For the sake of clarity we'll call her Beth. I realize that I didn't mention this before, but all of these are fake names. Second, to everyone commenting that Chad is at fault for his marriage breaking up, believe me, I'm well aware of that. It is his ex-wife and her family/friends who solely blame Beth. Chad is also older than her and has more life experience, so I do believe that he could potentially be taking advantage of her naivete. However, she is also an adult who is capable of making her own decisions and has chosen to make poor ones in the past. Third, people who are upset that I'm posting this story here, claiming I'm humiliating her. She has been posting about this mess on every social media platform she has since they got engaged in July. She put this out there long before I did, except she did so in front of friends, family, employers, and coworkers, as well as internet randos. Fourth, despite getting engaged in July and attempting to start planning then, I was only asked to be a bridesmaid 3 days ago. I knew that there was a mess going on, but I didn't really pay attention to it until she asked me to be a bridesmaid. I tried to ask what was going on. I said that she should talk to someone, but when she completely brushed me off, I checked her FB and Instagram and found out about all of this. Fifth, I realized that I didn't really talk about how disastrous the wedding planning has been going. See, here you go. They've had to rebook 3 times because venues and vendors kept canceling when infection numbers got worse, even thought their wedding was months away. Beth has been flipping between having the wedding while she's pregnant, saying she's proud of her bump, and wanting to wait until they're born because she feels fat, which is unfortunate because she's been breaking down due to her insecurity on a public platform. Beth is currently 7 months pregnant. Beth's great aunt was going to give her wedding dress to wear after she gives birth, but Beth's mom freaked and stole the dress from said aunt before Beth could get it and is now keeping it. The great aunt says she's too old to get in a fight and has shrugged it off. Chad's immediate family is paying for the wedding and has been cut off by the rest of their extended family for choosing Chad. Beth's wedding colors are pink and green, which is usually a nice combo, but the specific shades don't go great together. They're her and Chad's favorite colors, which is fine, but she literally made a video talking about these colors for 14 minutes on her Insta, and both of her kids are just full on bawling in the background and she's ignoring them, and she's gotten some flack for that. Adam is finally settled into his trade and has now hired a lawyer and is trying to get primary custody and not allow his daughter to go to the wedding. She's planning a Zoom baby shower/bachelorette party and has sent out a registry, and she's asking for crazy expensive things. She's also set up a GoFundMe to help pay for a honeymoon and is making a lot of posts about how no one loves her cause the fund only has $1,267 of the $20,000 she wanted. I'll update when I can, but I'm still in school, and while I do want to help her, she's refused help offered in the past, and there's only so much of this I can take mentally right now. Update 1. Hey everyone, so some stuff has gone down, and it doesn't look like it's over yet. Sorry, I didn't update sooner, but Rona came back with a vengeance and totally messed up plans with uni and family. Anyway, onto the update. From the last update, 16th, lots of ranting and chaotic wedding planning on social media. She found a dress and has decided she will get married while pregnant. They found a local wedding venue that is very lovely, but I'm shocked she's still trying to book stuff with all of their previous venue cancellations. December 16th, her little sister unblocked her to call her a slut and tell her that all her wedding plans were stupid. This resulted in a petty and entertaining Facebook war until the little sis blocked her again on the 17th. December 18th, Beth went nuts on social media because Adam had kidnapped their daughter. What really happened is that because courts are moving at a snail's pace due to COVID and Adam had reason to believe that their daughter was not safe living with Beth, he decided to just not give her back. They don't have a custody agreement, and when Beth tried to call the cops they couldn't do anything because he was kinda right. There were dozens of videos on her various social media accounts of her ignoring their daughter, yelling at her daughter for crying or doing other things that toddlers do. It turns out that everything she needed was bought by Adam: food, diapers, clothes, toys, daycare, while it was open, etc., on top of the unofficial child support he was paying every month, which turned out to be $500 a month. A number I find ridiculous because Adam was already paying for literally everything, because she refused to buy anything for her daughter and insisted it was Adam's responsibility. Additionally, after the immediate post-birth appointments, Beth never took baby A to a doctor's appointment. She always deferred that to Adam. Baby A's pediatrician has never met Beth. Beth even tried to get Chad to push back or intimidate him or something, but the local police where we live are under one hell of a microscope after a bunch of dirty cops got busted a couple of years ago. Basically, the cops, and the social worker they ended up calling, ended up saying there was nothing she could do until they get to court. The social worker tried to get her to go to therapy and parenting classes, but Beth refused and went on a 15-paragraph long rant on Facebook about how she doesn't need parenting classes or therapy. She really does though, and called the social worker some choice words. December 19th to 24th, just a bunch of ranting on social media, calling everyone who doesn't enable or justify her behavior cuss words, slurs, and a whole bunch of other horribly creative things. Also, both she and Chad are under investigation at work now, but she has no idea why. I'm gonna take this time to remind everyone that 99% of this info is coming from her public social media pages where her coworkers are friends and place of employment is listed. December 25th, I am officially embarrassed to know this woman. I didn't go on her FB page until the evening cause I didn't want to deal with drama, first thing in the morning, on Christmas. In the morning she put on a very beautiful blue maternity dress, got Chad in his police blues, and baby B in a purple romper, and then live streamed her and her family going to the courthouse to get married on Christmas Day. According to her Twitter, part of this was because their newest venue canceled on them after COVID numbers spiked. Overall, a pretty tacky thing in my opinion because she stated plain as day, several times, that she intended her wedding anniversary to eclipse Christmas for her children because it's just so much more special, you know? I am so glad that baby B's grandparents are filing for guardianship, but here's the thing. The courthouse isn't open. Because of COVID for one thing, but also because it's Christmas and Canada has a predominantly Christian history. She proceeded to have a full meltdown, and when baby B cried because, you know, the kid's mom was screaming up a storm and scaring her, Beth called her a cunt. Yup. So done with this bitch. December 28th, I ran into her at a vaccine clinic cause we were both getting our booster shots. She didn't recognize me at first but one of my old bosses, cause I used to work at the hospital the vaccine clinic was in, called my name and said hi, so she came up to me after my old boss had left. We talked a bit while we sat down for the mandatory waiting period after getting the shot. She asked how I was but didn't even wait for me to respond before she started ranting and complaining about her life. I was just going to sit there until the time was up and then just politely make my exit, but when she started talking shit about her kids something inside me snapped. I just said, do you even like your kids? Do you like being a mom? She got pretty quiet for a second and then said no. Her voice and demeanor completely changed and we just sat in silence until our time was up. I said goodbye but it was really awkward. December 31st, today, I just looked at her feed and, this is such a shocking what the actual fuck moment. She's thinking about giving up her kids. She went on about how recently she was asked if she liked her kids or being a mom, and how she realized that she didn't. She hates her children and blames them for ruining her life, and how she doesn't want to be a mom. I mean, nothing is official yet, but what the hell? I'll update as stuff happens now that I have the time, but this whole thing has been a big giant mess. Also, sorry for any formatting or grammatical errors, I'm not used to using Reddit on my PC. Update 2, okay, so, some stuff has happened and most of it's good? Also, the TLDR for this update will be at the bottom. Jan 4th, Beth and Chad stopped posting on all social media. I was actually a little worried she died. I mean, this woman posts everything short of her trips to the bathroom on IG. Oddly enough, this got people messaging or interacting with her social media pages because she was usually the one to start contact, and that contact was usually yelling. No one heard from them and some people started to be like, should we call the cops for a wellness check? Until Chad posted a status saying that they're fine but are busy, please stop trying to contact us right now. Everyone listened but it was weird. Jan 11, I got a notification that Beth and Chad are active on social media again, but I didn't feel like drama so I didn't check out any of their posts. Jan 12, today, she messaged me on FB asking me to be her mo. She also kept going on about the resort in Cancun that she and Chad were looking to have their wedding at. This coming February. Omicron is really bad where we are, so no one should be traveling anywhere. I've actually had to delay my trip back to the province where I go to university. No one should be traveling anywhere. Beth also found out that Chad was cheating on her with one of her coworkers and called the woman a homewrecker on FB, tagged her, and posted the text she found on Chad's phone. But Chad is the love of her life so she's forgiven him, but not the other woman. Which I find very hypocritical, considering how she and Chad got together. She also sent pics of possible bridesmaid dresses and they are the most hideous dresses I've ever seen. I know that some brides do that thing where they want to look a million times better by comparison, but this was just ridiculous. One of them looked like a partially deflated balloon with feathers strapped to it. She also openly admitted that she expected everyone attending to pay $3,000, $2,000 would go towards that guest stay at the resort and $1,000 would go to her and Chad and they will expected wedding gifts, so that they could get their room for free. Apparently, she talked to someone at the resort and if she got enough people to book their rooms she and Chad would get theirs for free. She also wanted the money to be given to her instead of directly to the hotel so that people wouldn't realize that she was taking $1,000 of their money. Beth sent me a pic of the wedding dress she wanted, and it's definitely a clubbing dress. If that's what she wants that's fine, and for the record I do think she would look great in it, Beth's current dream wedding dress, but she wants all the guests to be dressed black tie. And she's already sent a list of unreasonable requests. Such as, all women must wear heels, for a wedding in the beach? No one is allowed to have a baby or be pregnant, really? Girls must have longer than shoulder length hair, boys must have very short hair, only an inch or two long, no one is allowed to be skinnier than her, she will be providing diets for everyone attending based on how she wants us to look, she and Chad must get bachelor and bachelorette parties both in Canada and in Mexico that need to be fit for a king and queen and both must be paid for but anyone but the bride and groom cause that's just tacky. no unnatural hair, no tattoos. You have 5 tattoos, Beth, and in the dress you want all will be on full display. No one is allowed to talk to her directly, they must speak through the Mo and BM. Honestly, there's a lot more, but I didn't feel like typing all that out. She's posted the list on FB and IG and people are already calling her a bridezilla. I was also just kinda weirded out because aside from the previous convo at the hospital and when she originally asked me to be a bridesmaid, we haven't spoken since high school. So I respectfully declined, stating that the virus and school were my top concerns right now. Then, I decided to check her socials to see if she'd posted anything. She had, and everything was basically how it was before the hiatus. Except her kids are nowhere to be found. No look at my cute baby pics or kids crying in the background of her videos. Nothing. Though, based on her new pics of herself, she's given birth to baby C. I mean, she's definitely still recovering, but she also definitely had a baby and that baby is not on any of her socials. So when she responded to my decline with an attempt at guilting me to be her Mo, I asked her where her kids were. This was her response. "Oh, I left them at the side of the road on our way home from the hospital, those moochers could walk home lol." I was like, please tell me you're not being serious, especially cause it looks like she had the baby days ago. And she replied, "I was just joking, you shouldn't be so serious all the time. Honey, you made a joke about child abandonment/abuse, you're not being serious enough." And then I finally got the update on the kids. Baby A is still with Adam. Beth signed away her rights. Baby B and baby C have been given to a mutual cousin of Adam and Chad who is infertile. TBH, I didn't need that last tidbit of info or the 3-paragraph long rant about how God hates infertile women. I didn't even read all of it. I couldn't, and I didn't think that Beth could be so cruel to even think those things. I checked out the FB page of baby B's grandparents and they're happy with their grandchild's new parents. It looks like the cousin and her husband and welcoming them to the family as another set of grandparents and will let them have access to B. So yay. One thing I do need to stress though is that because of COVID the courts in our areas are either moving at a snail's pace or closed, so none of this is official, but Beth, and Chad, has signed paperwork and all that needs to happen now is presenting that to a judge. And when I rejoined our convo she said the doc she had for baby C gave her birth control, and she was surprised cause after her first pregnancy she asked her doctor for it, but he refused to give her any. She mentioned that her old doctor was also her mom's and sister's doctor. She ended up asking the doc who delivered baby C to be her new doctor, so I hope that works out. After learning all this my convo with Beth started to go downhill. Beth, wait, did you actually think I would just leave my kids at the side of the road? I just didn't want to be a mom, but I wasn't a bad one. Me, Beth, I think that you've been through a lot of trauma in the past few years, and that it's gotten to you mentally and that you should speak to a professional. Of course, Beth has been a bad mom, but she does need mental health help and I wasn't going to convince her to get it, or to not tell it me, if I said that. Beth, what? You think I'm crazy? Me, no. I think that getting kicked out as a teen because of a pregnancy and having your family actively reject you and try to sabotage you must have been very painful. Plus, pregnancy puts a lot of mental stress on women and you've had 3 in such a short time span. I just want you to take care of yourself and get what you want in life, and I think that will start with you taking care of your mental health. Beth, what I want is for you to go straight to hell. Beth then calls me every cuss word, expletive, and derogatory word she can think of. One of the words she called me was a derogatory word about people from my ethnicity and my blood is boiling that she thought it was okay to say that to me. So, I'm now on her hit list. She's been blowing up my social media all day. On her last FB post where she called me a slur she said that she still expects a good wedding gift from me. Yeah, no. So I've blocked her on everything, and I've decided to completely cut off contact. This will be my last update. Update 3, hi, everyone, I didn't think I would be making another update, but here I am. I don't know if anyone will even care, but whatever. Turned out, she's seen it and does not give a single damn, because as I pointed out, the majority of the info in this post came from her public social media. She also doesn't know who posted it, more on that in the update. I am still no contact with Beth and have no plans to change that anytime soon, but we have mutual friends who have told and shown me what's happened. First things first, she and Chad did get married, but they eloped. According to all sources they are completely and utterly miserable though. Chad has proven to be an overall lazy and unfaithful husband, and Beth has really gotten into feminism, with a focus on reproductive issues, after she started using birth control, and Roe v. Wade getting overturned, even though we're in Canada, really caused tension in their marriage. As it turns out, Chad thinks that abortion is murder and God created women for the purpose of making babies. Beth tried to argue that not all women want or should be mothers, using herself as an example, and then Chad went ahead and used her as an example of why women should be forced to have kids, because in the end she gave kids to an infertile couple. She didn't take that well and said that her entire life and future was ripped away from her and destroyed the second she got pregnant with baby A. Adam was never slut-shamed or demeaned like she was, both at home and at school, which is a fair point. Myself and many others were helpful and supportive, but there were a lot of people who judged the hell out of her and said really nasty stuff, and that if she hadn't gotten pregnant she would have gone to college or university because she lost the general and financial support of her family with that positive pregnancy test. Chad has made a Tinder account. Beth was informed, but it doesn't seem like she gave a damn. So basically you could cut the tension with a knife. And with her family, her sister came out as gay and has been cut off from their parents. But she's got a partial scholarship, so she's doing okay. She and Beth are not on good terms, but have met up and acknowledged that their parents messed them up by being religious nuts, and their parents encouraged them to be competitive with each other and sabotage each other. Apparently their dad's motto is competition brings out the best in everyone, ugh. But they've talked and that's good enough for now. Neither Beth nor Chad have custody or visitation of their children, which Chad is starting to regret because he's suddenly getting more and more into the church and religion. Chad talked to Beth about getting baby C back, but Beth shut that down hard and warned the cousin who adopted baby C, officially and legally BTW. Beth started going to therapy after she and Chad got married, which makes me very happy and excited for her. There was a rumor going around that Chad has a mistress, and it took me a while to confirm, but it's true. He's cheating on her with a paramedic and she knows. Beth is fully aware. I'd if she plans to do anything about it or just continue to ignore it, but I hope she leaves his ass. I'm still not gonna talk to her, she crossed so many lines, but she's grown and improved a lot, and her life would be a lot better without that sack of scum in her life. Now, I have given a few details in my post that should have revealed my identity to her, namely her asking me to be her mo. I have found out that she actually asked around 15 girls, including myself, to be her mo, without telling any of us about the others, because she was trying to get money from all of us and because her mental health has just been very bad and she needed help. And of those 15, 8 have been going to school out of province, and of those 8 we all had basically the same classes in high school. And apparently doesn't remember our discussion at the vaccination clinic and had major blow up with everyone she asked to be mo. So she knows it's one of 8 people and reportedly has no interest in trying to narrow that number down. Chad did the same thing with his groomsmen, but I'd any of the numbers. Dear Beth, if this post gets forwarded to you or somehow graces your phone screen, leave Chad. He's trash and you'll be much better without him in your life. And though I'm not willing to talk to you again because of your words and actions, I do wish for you to have a wonderful and happy life.